Yo, Rocco B Scotty G. This is Naked Bootleg, and we are talking Super Bowl today. Scotty boy, let's just get into it, man. I'm fucking excited.
Let's go, brother. Let's go.
Let's go. So here's the thing. What do you think is the biggest storyline of this game? Give me something. Give me the biggest storyline of this game off the top of your head.
I mean, if you're going off of like public consensus of what everyone's talking about, what the media's hype about, what everyone I encounter is talking about, it's going to be whether Brock Purdy can make a name for himself and win this game. Everyone feels like it's unanimous picking Kansas City Chiefs. I don't understand how it's so unanimous, but everyone I hear talking, everyone that talks to me, everyone I see on TV, they're all saying the same thing. How do you bet against Mahomes? So to me, Brock Purdy's play and what he does in this game, I think is going to be the biggest kind of storyline coming out of the whole thing. What do you think?
It depends. I mean, if you're going to talk about the quarterbacks, you want to go Mahomes, is he closer to 7? Is he going to be Brady, all the legacy, all that shit? Fine.
Yeah, but Mahomes gets 10, 30, not 30, but he's got 10, 15 years before he has to worry about that. Like, if it was close to the end of his career, I think that'd be a bigger storyline. He's at the beginning of his career. So if he goes 2-2, I don't think it's a big deal. But what I'm saying is Mahomes has already arrived. Brock Purdy hasn't really stepped through the doorway yet for most people, even myself, really.
Yeah. No, honestly, bro, I mean, is it more about Mahomes to me in this game? No. I think it's about Purdy, and I think it's about Shanahan, honestly. I mean, I think the two big factors are we already know what we got with Kansas City, right? We know what we're going to get with Mahomes and Reed and that system in Kansas City. The problem is you got the two factors, Purdy and Shanahan. Now, we all know Shanahan's track record in the Super Bowl with not only the Niners, but with the Falcons. Now,
not great.
Purdy, okay, as we have on the screen here, will he show that he truly is Mr. Irrelevant? Or does he now make his case for, could I be the next Montana? Could I be the next out-of-nowhere quarterback a la Brady, even though, again, they're not the same player? But that's my biggest thing, Scotty. And once we get into this game a little bit more, I want to ask you this question, which I'm going to pop up here right now. With the Chiefs, we've seen the problem this year has been, can they score in the fucking second half? And they did it against Baltimore too. So I want to see, can they score in the second half against the 49ers? You know that this 49ers team, this playoff season, is a second half team. Look what they did against Green Bay. Look what they did against Detroit. Okay? So you can't just go in the fucking tank and expect to have a 17, 21-point lead in the first half and think San Fran's going to just sit on their ass. So
but before you go any further, Rock, right before we started the show, you asked me what those numbers were?
Correct.
Why don't you start pulling those numbers up?
Okay.
Since we're here. So the average in the NFL in the fourth quarter seems like not a lot, but it is 6 points per game.
As far as by teams go? Like
by every team in the NFL.
6 points. Okay.
Yes. So every team in the NFL, the average in the fourth quarter, every team scores at least 6 points.
6 points.
Some are higher, some are lower.
Sure.
But that is the average.
All right.
The Chiefs this season, including the playoffs, have averaged 3.6. That is ranked 32nd.
Dead last.
58 points. The Dolphins put 70 on a team this year. There's been games that have been scored in that realm this year. That's their whole fourth quarter for the entire season. That's 17. Actually, that's actually more than that's 17 games, 58. But 3.6 is the average for including the playoffs. Just to give you an idea of how bad that is before we go into the 49ers.
Sure.
The New York Jets are ranked 24th in the league. They were on pace. And I know for Jets history, well, maybe not for Jets history because we've been such a fucking shit organization, but they were on pace to be the worst offense in history. In history. And I know they had a couple games at the end where they got their point average up. They had 4.9. That's a 1.5 higher than Kansas City.
Brutal.
Another team, the New England Patriots. For those who don't remember, the only team in history to have 3 games where the defense held the opposing team to 10 points, and they lost all 3 games.
Yeah.
They're the 30th ranked team, 4.1. So basically, I just mentioned basically 2 of potentially probably the worst offenses outside of maybe Carolina.
Yep.
In the NFL are ranked higher than the Kansas City Chiefs in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Now, Rock.
Now let's compare that to San Francisco, because I guarantee you there's got to be a little bit of a difference, huh?
Let's look at San Francisco. Why don't you pull that up?
Oh, boy.
This year, 114 points.
Wow.
Averaging 7.7. It's 4th in the NFL.
The whole league in the fourth quarter. And again, if you want to look at the playoffs, what they did with the Packers and what they've done with the Lions, it's a huge second half with the fucking 49ers on offense. So, that's my big question, Scotty. I had no clue where those numbers were going, and it's funny that it locked into where I was thinking. That's my biggest worry with this Kansas City team.
By the way, Rock, I have this number written down. I didn't give you, but the Niners are averaging 10 in the fourth quarter for just the playoffs, and the Kansas City Chiefs are averaging 4.6. That's basically a touchdown more.
It's brutal. It's brutal. So you're telling me, like, if we're gonna madden out this game here, all those simulations and all that shit, Kansas City's gonna need at least a 10-point lead going into halftime, going in the second half. But to me, I don't even think that would be enough, to be honest, if the way that San Fran's been playing these past couple games in the playoffs and the way that the Chiefs have been playing. So
and look, I just want to say, I understand it's Patrick Mahomes, and I understand these numbers could mean dog shit. They might not mean a fucking damn thing. But with things like that out there, with statistics like that out there, I just don't understand how it's unanimous. Like, I get you picking the Chiefs. I just don't get how everyone's picking the Chiefs. And no one's like, well, people are acting like the Niners don't have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, I'm not watching a bunch of stuff. I'll tell you what. I mean,
everyone.
If you just take the 2 parameters, right, of what wins Super Bowls, better coach, better quarterback. It's obvious it's the Chiefs. Again, we also talked in our previous episodes about what does say what's the biggest fucking reasoning why the best quarterback in a Super Bowl would lose. And every single time when you look at the games that the best quarterback lost in the Super Bowl, it was because of incredible, phenomenal, fantastic defense. Unless San Fran can pull some fucking defense out of their ass with Steve Wilkes that they haven't done all year, especially with Talanoa Hufanga being out, I don't see it happening, and I'm taking a better coach. I'm taking a better quarterback.
I didn't see a whole lot of defense in that Patriots-Eagles game, is all I'm going to say.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Until the end, the last play of the game, when Brandon Graham strips fucking Tom Brady, and there you go. No team punts. And you're going to say, the one play was the final play of the game on defense, and that's what did it. All right, I love those numbers. I want to talk about real quick the game itself. As far as from a numbers perspective, I think this line is so fucking wacky to me.
Well, I think I got 2.5 on FanDuel.
Well, ESPN's got 1.5 right now. And
I think FanDuel's. Let me see what FanDuel's
let's
got.
Talk about we can cut it in the middle. You say 2, right? I still
FanDuel's got 2.5.
I don't understand how the Chiefs are not favored in this game. I don't understand it. So
I just explained to you that the Niners are a better team, man. Overall, they're a better team.
You can't pick again against the quarterback. It's just, to me, Vegas should know better. This to me feels like one of those Super Bowls where you're gonna say this is fairly obvious that I'm gonna take the plus 102 Chiefs to win on the money line, and how 47.5 is the number to me. I think we're going to get some scoring. I don't know. I would imagine it'd be somewhere around 50. And I think that Kansas City would be the fucking favorite at 1.5. But we'll get into that. We'll get into our picks in a minute. Let's talk about this game and how we see it going. Scotty, here's the thing with Brock Purdy. Okay.
Go ahead.
We know what we saw these past 2 games for San Fran this year with Green Bay and Detroit. Slow starts in the first half. Slow starts in the first half.
Yep.
Then you go back to the NFC Championship game last year in Philadelphia. Purdy, before he got his arm snapped, looked like his eyes were as fucking big as my balls, okay? Which ain't very big. But the fact is that he couldn't get it done then.
Yep.
He almost didn't get it done in the past 2 games. And you got to imagine Kansas City, with the best defense that they've had probably in the Mahomes era, is coming after his ass. So give me your argument on how Brock gets this thing done.
Well, I mean, look, Brock, I think, is a difference maker. If Brock has a bad day, if Brock turns the ball over, if Brock throws some crazy passes for 3.5 quarters like he's done in the past 2 games, they got no shot. There's no question about that. But if Brock has one bad quarter and he protects the ball, he's not turning the ball over. Even if he gets one interception or one fumble, if it's early enough and he has, let's say he's missing targets in the first quarter, as long as he gets going by the end of the second quarter and he doesn't have a lot of turnovers, I don't think it matters. Everyone, and I'm not taking anything away from Brock Purdy. I'm not going down this whole game manager route and all that bullshit. It's the guy's 1.5 fucking season. I'm not going down that road yet. It's too early to say anything. Yep. Realistically, he should be a game manager in his 25th game, whatever it is. I mean, what are we talking about? So what I'm saying, though, is, and the reason why I'll go into it later on if I want the over and under, but I think you know where I'm leaning on this. The reason why I don't expect a lot of scoring is because I think it's going to be a run game. Okay. But the Niners are susceptible against the run, and McCaffrey's the best running back in the league right now. So both teams are going to be trying to control the clock. Yeah. The Niners are going to be trying to keep Mahomes off. And I don't think you realize this, but the reason why the Niners are so exposed for the run game in this playoffs is because the Niners are the number 1 red zone offense in the league. This offense is high-powered. Teams are approaching the Niners as saying, "Let's keep these motherfuckers off the field."
Off the field, yeah.
Bro, in the Green Bay game, they had the ball for like a quarter of the time. It's like I don't think people realize the keep away that teams have been playing with this squad.
Well, I agree. And you got to imagine, with your argument as far as if the turnovers are early, I don't know how much they matter. You're right. I mean, look what Kansas City did to Baltimore. They turned Lamar over in the beginning, and yet they kept him in it because their offense stalled in the second half.
Yeah.
So I get you. I think it's going to be a slow first half, and we're going to get into some fireworks in the second half. And I think that's how it's going to go. I hope to God that it's a close game by the time the game's over. I don't want to blow out either way. But here's the guy. Okay.
Here's the guy.
The fucking guy that's going to be very, very fucking sneaky to me. Okay. This is the guy you got to watch out for the whole game. Okay. You can look at the Chiefs and the Niners and say, okay, well, you got your superstars, you got your CMCs, you got your fucking Kelseys. Who's going to be the guy?
I think we're on the same page with
potentially
this.
Make the big plays for the team to potentially win the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not on this team for the Super Bowl, but I'm telling you, I think this is the guy.
Forgotten man. I know who you're going to go with because
this is the guy.
Oh, no, that's not who Juice. That's the guy.
If you watch Super Bowl 54, okay,
he's a good player, but
what they did.
What are we doing here?
Kyle Juszczyk against the Chiefs. Okay, the problem with the 49ers in Super Bowl 54 was Jimmy G. Okay, but Kyle Juszczyk was all over that field, always wide open, always took advantage. He was running the ball. He caught the ball. Great blocking. This guy, if San Francisco is going to win the Super Bowl, Kittle's going to score a touchdown. That's my lock of the week. We'll get to that in a second. You love it as well. They're going to be absolutely keying on and game planning for Debo and for CMC. We know that. Okay. Now that means Ayuk, which is one of the best receivers, upcoming receivers in the game, is going to have to make big plays, yes. But if you lock him up with Snead, if you got fucking your key on CMC and Debo, everybody's going to be watching their asses. You think, oh, it's Kittle, it's Kittle. I think they're going to use Kittle a little bit more to block this time. I'm telling you, you watch. Kittle will make a touchdown catch, no doubt about it, but I think he's going to be blocking a little bit more than he usually does. That's going to free up the fullback. When you have a fullback who's not a fullback, who's literally an H-back, tight end, running back as your fullback, he's going to be the big key for the 49ers. Watch him to get he should have a huge part of the game plan, and that would shock the shit out of the Chiefs, in my opinion.
So Rocco Bellagio, Mr. I got fucking offense coming out of my fucking ears over here. Mm-hmm. All he wants to talk about is offense, offense, offense. I've been telling him for years, defense wins championships. He refutes me, argues me, tells me I'm out of my fucking tits. He goes down every fucking rabbit hole he can to pull up stats on how offense matters. He doesn't even like defensive coaches. This motherfucker talking about offense, he brings up a fullback. Bro, the position's almost extinct from the game. That's what you think the difference is going to be in this game? Now, okay. I hope we come up here on Monday and Tuesday and we talk about how Juice had the most incredible game in history, because it would just be perfect. But I think you're completely out of your tits.
Oh, okay.
So look, they're a little banged up. Chiefs are a little banged up on the secondary. They got to worry about McCaffrey coming out of the backfield and McCaffrey running the ball, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They got to worry about Debo doing God knows what.
Everything. Right.
They got to worry about Kittle going deep, because it feels like he's the deep guy.
Yep.
The thing that I think the biggest piece of this whole puzzle is the guy who's not accounted for, Brandon Ayuk. Okay. I don't think they're going to have an answer for Ayuk. I think Ayuk is a huge day. I could even see Jennings having a huge day, but I think he's going to be doing a lot of blocking as well. He's probably the best blocking receiver in the fucking league. But the fullback? What are we talking about?
He's not a fullback.
By the way, I'm going to go on record and say this right now, and I don't know if this is going to happen. If I am Kyle Shanahan, you got to pull out all the stops, correct, Rock? We agree with that? Like, absolutely. Last game of the season.
And you have to play smart.
I'm telling you, there's a weapon on that team who can't stay healthy, but is healthy at the moment, who they have not used.
Eli Mitchell.
They got to get Mitchell involved.
Yeah.
You have an offense out there with Mitchell and McCaffrey. Yeah. They both can catch the ball, they both can run the ball, and they're similar style. Mitchell's a poor man McCaffrey.
Juszczyk is underrated. He's the
best fullback in the league. How more underrated can you be?
He's not a fullback, though. I mean, he's literally like, the advantage that Baltimore has with that guy Ricard, the guy who's fucking 300 pounds. Patrick Ricard, the guy who's 300 pounds, the fucking fullback.
I don't know Patrick Ricard. I have no idea who the fuck that is.
It's like having another offensive lineman out there that can catch the ball and run the ball. I mean, that's what he does for Baltimore. I don't know. Again, he wasn't on the field much against the Chiefs, which I have no clue about why the fuck they handed the ball off.
You're not running the ball. You're not gonna have your fullback out there.
You gotta have options out there, and then create mismatches. And Juszczyk's a mismatch. And so if you're gonna key on Debo, CMC, you're gonna lock up Ayuk with Snead, right? Snead's one of the best corners in the game. So you're gonna put those guys, boop, out. Okay. Now Kittle again, you're gonna need to protect. You're gonna need to have him fucking around. Maybe as a sixth guy on protection. So then, bada boop, bada beep. Juszczyk out to the flat. Juszczyk doing a little fucking Texas route over the middle. Juszczyk fucking running the ball on a pitch that you'd think is going to McCaffrey, maybe, like you said, two backs on one split backs or something like that. Watch Juszczyk have a big game. Ayuk should have a big game anyway, because I think he's one of the best receivers right now coming up in the league. But
on the other side of the ball, let me ask you a couple things.
Yeah.
Not on the other side of the ball, the other team, Let me ask you a couple things.
Yeah.
One, are you worried that Joe Tunney, however the fuck you say his name, and the Charles, I'm not even going to try to say this motherfucker's name. The guy you were disrespecting. Oh, he's a third stringer. Bro, the guy's got 7 sacks on the season as a rotational player. He's a pretty solid player. So
both of them he made 7 plays this year. Good for him.
Both of them, yeah. We got to have a debate one day about these sacks because I disagree with you immensely. I think sacks are damn near as important as an interception. So we'll go into another day.
Yes.
Anyway, with that being said, are you worried at all that a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman that are big contributors on the team are probably not playing? I think they're actually ruled out.
Not worried about Emmanuel tore his ACL. He's out for a while. And Tooney's probably not going to play because he had as a torn pec, and fucking, they played Allegretti in against Baltimore. So no, he probably won't play. He's an all-pro guard. I get it. But it's Mahomes, man. It's Mahomes on the street. He can do it with probably 5 fullbacks in front of him. If he really wanted to. I mean, that's the thing. It's I'm not worried about the Chiefs' offensive line. I'm not worried about their defense at all. I'm worried about, can they score in the second half? Do they have enough firepower? Can San Fran and Steve Wilkes come up with the plan to not let Travis Kelce get off the line fucking scot-free every fucking time? I don't understand.
We talked about. By the way, do you think that happens? Do you think they got an answer for Kelce? I got an answer for Kelce if you want to know it.
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully Shanahan listens.
You love the fact that they play man. We talked about they can't play zone against Kelce because
Chardavius Ward has to lock him up. No, he's got to lock up Kelce.
Yeah,
you got to put Ward on Kelce.
Well, who's going to be on Rashee Rice then?
It does. I mean, you're gonna have to put someone else on Rice. I get it, but you gotta put Ward on Kelce. Yeah. He's your best corner.
Ambry Thomas is the big weak link. They're gonna find him. So we used to call them fish. Where's the fish? Where's the guy you want to attack? Ambry Thomas is the fish. So whoever the Chiefs put on him, I think MVS could have a huge game. I think whoever's going to be on Ambry Thomas is going to have a huge game because Ambry Thomas is a nightmare as far as being bad for your team. He sucks. And he's the fish. And the fact that they have Hufanga out is huge. They've had him out all playoffs. That's why they're giving up all these points in the back end. But who's going to be the guy? Is it going to be Rice? Is it going to be MVS?
Hufanga was kind of more of a box guy.
Hufanga's fucking Palomalu. He's all over the field. He looks like Palomalu too. Who's it going to be?
I think if you lock Ward up on him, on Kelce, and then either play zone or do whatever you got to do with everybody else. Because if Ward can shut down DK Metcalf, I don't see any problem shutting down Travis Kelce.
They have to do something exotic, okay?
You got to, and look, I understand Rashee Rice is a very nice piece, and he's going to probably become a very good receiver in this league. But he's still young. He's still a rookie. Yep. You got to put this big moment where he's also had some drops. You got to put this big moment to make Mahomes go to Rice and Valdez-Scantling when the moment's on line. You can't have him go into trusty Travis Kelce, potentially the best fucking tight end in the league or of all time. That you can't do that. So I would rather the Niners lose the game because Rashee Rice has an incredible game and he's a rookie in the Super Bowl, has his moment. And I know Travis Kelce was held to 2 catches for 15 yards opposed to being like, all right, well, Kelce went for 120 and 8 catches. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, you didn't even fucking try. Like,
you're right. You're right. He's not going to be held to nothing that crazy because they're going to force feed Kelce for sure. They're going to, again, with his potential last game of his career, they're going to force feed him. They're going to fucking make sure that he can get out with the Super Bowl. But you're right. I think they got to do something exotic and they got to cover him up. Do you want to get into the picks or do you want to get into your props first and end with the picks?
We could do the props.
All right, let's do the props. So, Scotty boy, we all know he just loves himself some motherfucking props. Okay, and we may be here all day, but
I get cold rock, so I like to take my money and just fucking put it in the fire,
burn it,
nice and warm.
So here's your anytime touchdowns. Right here we go.
Yeah.
Here's your guys who are betting. You're betting on anytime touchdowns for today, for Sunday, and you think that
I want to go on the record and say I have not officially made my bets yet. This is probably what I'm going to be taking. I could shift and go Kelce as well to this match. I'm a little nervous because if they're smart, I think they keep Kelce out of the end zone. But Kelce is Kelce.
This is a nice little parlay here.
Well, this could be a parlay. You could do it.
It has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. So I love Kittle. I think I love Kittle almost every fucking game getting a touchdown, but I think in this big time moment, he's one of the few guys that's been here. He wants it. He's a gamer. CMC, obviously, he's gonna get. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, I could have closed my eyes and bet CMC every fucking game touchdown, I would have been wrong. Like I would have been wrong like twice. Yeah. And then Pacheco, I think he's going to be a difference maker here because they have to get the ball going. They have to get the ball running to A, keep the Niners off the field, but B, because that's the Niners' weakness. I mean, outside the numbers, deep in the corners, and running the ball down their fucking throats. So I think Pacheco has a big game. I think any one of these three guys is a good anytime touchdown. You could parlay it.
All right. And I'm just going to real quick jump in with my only pick of the week. I've said it for weeks now. If San Fran gets to the Super Bowl, Kittle is scoring a touchdown. So if you've watched anything on George Kittle, the Super Bowl loss absolutely irks him to death. And they had a NFL Films little snippet of Kittle on the sidelines of Super Bowl 54 as they were losing to Kansas City. And he said, I'm going to do everything in my power to get back here and to make sure that this is different. So to me, that means not only is he going to get back to the Super Bowl, is he's going to make a huge fucking difference in the Super Bowl. If he gets back, it's going to happen. Okay. So let's get to your, we're doing the yardage now. You think CMC goes over 89.5?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you don't. I mean, this guy is like, he gets 100 yards fucking rolling out of bed. So I think he gets off. I mean, I could see people being.
He gets off, huh?
I think he gets off. All right. I could understand going the under here because of the neck issue, and maybe late in the game they start rotating him out, or maybe they rotate him out early in the game and save him for the end. It's possible. So this is probably not my safest bet, but I can't bet against CMC. I'm not doing it. Okay. So I'm going over.
And what about Pacheco? You like him over as well?
To me, this is easy. To me, he's guaranteed to get 70-plus yards.
Okay.
I don't have to say anything else. Niners are not great against the run.
Okay. And now, not only yardage, but you're also going to get into the catches here a little bit. Kittle, you like to have a big game.
Well, I mean, this necessarily isn't a big game for him. I mean, if he gets
four catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown, I mean, that's a nice game.
I mean, I guess in the Super Bowl, I guess. Nice in a normal game, it's not that crazy. I mean, I guess, But what I'm saying is, I think he gets fed the ball at least 4 times. And I think let's say this. I think he gets targeted probably 8 to 10 times. Okay. I think he catches at least 4 of them. The thing is with George Kittle is damn near every catch is 20-plus yards. He's always a downfield threat. He's not really the dump-off guy. So if I think he's going to get the 4 yards or 4 receptions, there's no reason to not think he's going to get less than 50 yards.
Sure. Okay. And you think then this MVS number is too low, and I completely fucking agree.
Well, yeah, I think
that's one catch.
Exactly. MVS down every catch is down the field.
Yeah.
Like an average catch for him is like 13, 15 yards.
Yeah. Problem is he's got to snag it. Let's make sure that he's watched the movie Little Giants before, and maybe he fucking puts some fucking stick him right there on the fucking gloves, so he can fucking catch.
Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Oh, what a movie.
Annexation of Puerto Rico, baby.
That's right.
But with that being said, I find it hard to believe, especially with the Niners not having a scary secondary. This to me is kind of a layup.
Yeah, I agree. It's way too low.
Ayuk over 6.2. This is a little harder. Now, I think Ayuk's having a big game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more of an Ayuk Kittle show than it's going to be a Debo McCaffrey show. But obviously, if McCaffrey goes over 90 yards, fucking huge game, I guess. So I guess all 3 of them. So I think Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Kittle are kind of the stars of the show here.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, before we give our picks, I guess you're going to give this one. This is these are your this is your advice to everybody for what.
So as I said earlier, I think it goes under because I think they're going to be running the ball a lot. I really do. And I mean that's it. I'm taking the Niners, but I mean.
Okay. Well, then I think this is the best time to potentially
lay it all out.
Say, you know what? Let's just lay it out if you don't mind, and let's get to our Super Bowl picks. Scotty boy, you're up, and you are giving the 49ers.
That's right, baby.
The victory 24-17, and you're going -1.5, and you're going under 47.5. So talk to me about the 24-17.
I think it starts off slow, like you said. I think it's a big second half for the Niners, but I think in the second quarter we're gonna have some action. I think there's a lot of running going on, so I think there's gonna be a lot of clock management as far as each team trying to control the clock, everyone trying to keep Mahomes off the field, the Chiefs trying to keep the Niners off the field. With that being said, I still think the Niners are going to score. I think 24 points is actually a decent amount on this team because they're number 2 allowing in points this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I just don't see Mahomes getting it done in the fourth quarter. So I like the Niners. I liked them since day one. I think they're overall just a better team. They got the better players on offense. They got the better players on defense. So, I mean, the only thing they got that's dramatically different is the quarterback. And to be fair, I'm not going to say Brock Purdy's better than Mahomes. I'm not that fucking ludicrous. But at the same time, you look at this season, Brock Purdy had a significantly better season than Mahomes this year. So with the only piece being Mahomes that's like outweighing kind of the balance here, Brock Purdy had a better year. So I don't understand why the Niners are not even looked at to be like a consensus favorite.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you on one thing. And I agree with you that the 49ers are going to score 24 points. Okay. I'm going to take the Chiefs 27-24.
Be a good game.
So what I would say, I guess, is what you want to do, of course, is take Kansas City. I would take a money line. I go make some money with the Chiefs. And I would take the over right now. I would take the over. I'd go over 50, to be honest. If it was 50, I'd still go over. And, honestly, I think we're going to get a slow first half. I think we're going to get if you just recall watching Super Bowls, generally that's what you get. You get a feel-out process in the fucking first half. I can see something like a 14-10, 14 to,
that would actually be, I think, kind of exciting. 14-10 in the first half,
something like that first half. And
I could see like a 10-3 at half.
Something. I mean, usually you get a very slow first half, and I believe, Scotty, since the Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Rams, the second one, Brady and Goff, where that was the worst Super Bowl that we've ever witnessed. 13-3, I believe, was the final score there.
I enjoyed it to a degree, but yes,
it was. I mean, it was brutal, right? It was. Even though it was defensive, it was.
I like the defensive play.
The Rams were abysmal on offense.
I would have liked a little more scoring. I agree, but
it was just
defense
it was abysmal offense, right? I think the NFL from there said we're never having this again. And since then, if you go through the history of the Super Bowls in the past, I believe it's 6 years since that game. There's been no game where you haven't had some type of offensive explosion in the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the over, and I like the Chiefs. I'm taking the better coach. I'm taking the better quarterback. I'm taking Kelsey and Taylor Swift. And I'm telling you, I think this is going to be the bugaboo for Shanahan. I really do. I don't blame Brock Purdy at all if they lose this game, especially if it's not his fault. Of course not. But I think Shanahan has the most pressure, and I just don't think he's going to come through. So this is one thing I wanted to show everybody last episode, but we didn't get to it. This is Seth Wickersham, okay, from ESPN.com. This is the article that he put up. Okay. Shanahan will not be denied. Kyle Shanahan is ready to meet the moment. Well, we're going to go back to these on Monday. And I believe Seth Wickersham should be fired after these that this game's over, because
fired? You're out of your fucking mind.
We've been calling fucking everybody to be fired, so why the fuck not? But no, I really do believe that it's going to be the quarterback. It's going to be the coach. It's going to be the tight end, the greatest tight end of all time, He's going to ride off on the sunset with Taylor Swift in a Super Bowl win. So I'm going to go out on a limb, Scott, real quick, and I'm going to say that there could be a chance. There could be a chance that Travis Kelce is the Super Bowl MVP. So this could be one of those 3 tutty games for him. and where he just owns it, right? So we'll see. But where are we going to go?
I can't. First off, I can't see a world where the Chiefs win where Mahomes is not the MVP. But we'll see.
No, I mean you're right. But if Kelsey has, say, if Mahomes has 3 touchdowns and they're all to Kelsey, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that. I wanted to ask you just 2 things before we get out of here. One, sure. I don't know if you've heard about the field issue with it being like at 50 as opposed to 70 as far as firmness because they're practicing at UNLV. Yes. And if you heard today about they got woken up at 6 a.m. because of a fire alarm at the
That's a classic
hotel.
That's
do you think that the powers that be are trying to make life a little harder for the San Francisco 49ers?
Somebody is. I mean, tell me this, right? I know the Chiefs are the home team, right? So that makes sense as far as, why the Chiefs would get the Raiders facility. And
yeah.
Right? Like I get it. But you're going to tell me you send fucking San Fran to UNLV, have to put a sod field on top of a field turf field, and you think that's going to work?
Well, it was bullshit too, because supposedly it's supposed to be done by like mid-December, and they did it like 2 weeks ago.
It's absurd. I mean, it really is. So, everything right now is stacked against the Niners. And the fucking hotel trick, that's the oldest trick in the book. It's a classic. It's awesome. Right?
Should have done it. They all said, though, from the report I read, they all said like it went off at 6, and most of them were getting up at like 7. Yeah. Bro, for future, if anyone does this again, do it at like 3 a.m. or like
3
4
a.m. on Sunday.
Maybe like 4 a.m. 4 a.m. So really fuck with them.
Let's see if the Chiefs get fucked with on Sunday morning. That's what I want to see. But no, I think everything's against them. And really, I want to be proven wrong. We're going to do a segment coming up here on our Naked Bootleg that it's a Prove Me Wrong episode. Segment. And I want to basically have someone prove me wrong. And if I had this segment today, the segment would be for Kyle Shanahan. So prove me wrong. I don't give a shit about Purdy. Like I said, he's not even supposed to be here. Shanahan is this guy that is looked at as the god of the young coaches in the NFL. And, he's got to prove me wrong here. Can you beat Big Red? Can you beat Mahomes? Can you beat Kelsey? Can you beat the team that the NFL wants to push down everybody's throats? The Kansas City Chiefs. Can you do it? And I want to see it.
And Niner Nation, if you ever do want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan, the Jets will happily take him. I'd rather lose every Super Bowl there is than there is living the life I live.
Yeah, well,
in this fucking Jets fandom.
I know it's but again, if you do it, you get there. You gotta ask.
Everyone tells me though it's like worse.
They
would rather not even make the playoffs, as everyone tells me.
It's worse. You can't do it. Imagine
we'll
if he loses too.
We'll see.
So we'll get to it. But Scotty's coming to Louisville, Kentucky, baby. He's got to get his ass on a plane. He will be here. We will be together in the Bluegrass State to watch this fucking game, and I can't wait. But this was a good one today, Scotty. And we will we'll see each other soon. And I think that's about it for today, right?
Yeah, that's it, man. Let's get out
of here. All right. So for Scotty G, this is Rocco B saying see you later and sayonara.
Adios.